Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. So there's some breaking news in. This is the West Ham News Show. Finally, we've got something to talk about, and it does involve Ben Johnson. Before we get into it, drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial, check out our channel sponsors, SRM Carver and Son, by clicking the link in the description down below. We're going to be talking about Ben Johnson, Benrahma versus Moyes, a little bit about Antonio, and a little bit about our former striker, Sebastian Haller, as he speaks out about his time at West Ham. So without further ado, let's get on with it, and let's start with the breaking news about Ben Johnson. And so the Standard, the Evening Standard Sport has reported, Jack Rosser 44 minutes ago, for when I'm filming this, that West Ham have warded off Arsenal and Tottenham interest in starlet Ben Johnson with 2-year contract extension. West Ham have taken up a 2-year option in Ben Johnson's contract, extending his current deal to 2024. Johnson's deal was set to expire at the end of the campaign, and talks have been held over a fresh contract, but the club have elected to take up the additional 2-year option, which will see the academy graduates' wage rise this summer. The fullback has established himself as a first-team figure this season and excelled for a spell earlier in the campaign during an injury to first-choice right-back Vladimir Soufal. During that run in the side, the 22-year-old shone in victories over Tottenham, Liverpool and Chelsea. That run of form drew attention from outside of West Ham. London rivals Arsenal and Tottenham have both been keeping a keen eye on Johnson, with Liverpool also very impressed. And then it goes on to talk about Spurs and the manager and what could perhaps happen at a youth level for England. So this is very good news, because we've discussed on there that a summer rebuild is going to be crucial and is going to need to happen. We've got no choice. It's going to have to happen because there's so many players out of contract at the end of the season. That's Ben Johnson's contract worried about. So I think there's about 6 or 7 now that are out of contract at the end of the season. So we're waiting for official confirmation of this, and then hopefully West Ham are looking, to get these other players down, sign these players and get these players contracted to West Ham past the end of this season, because we're going to be having at this rate about 6, 7, 8 players leaving the football club, and we're barely coping as it is. So we're going to need, if we let all these go on a free, you got the Yarmolenkos, Fredericks, Masuaku, all these players. Yes, they're not first teamers, but they're a body in the squad, and we need bodies at the moment. And we've been talking about this for what seems like forever. And it's good to have Ben Johnson tied down. You all know I'm not Ben Johnson's biggest fan, but he is growing on me. I think he's very good defensively. I think his passing needs work, and I think I don't think his crossing is fantastic. But he's young. He's 22 years old, and obviously he's impressing big clubs. So it's good for West Ham. The talks were we were going to try and get a like 4 or 5 year long-term contract out of him, but talks for that were ongoing for a long time. Nothing really came of it, and West Ham went, yeah, you know what, let's just activate this 2-year contract extension. So we've got him until 2024. So that then results he'll be about 24, 25 when that contract's up, depending on how his career is, what he's doing, if he's progressed, depressed, not depressed as in he's gone backwards, gone forward in his career. Then we'll have to assess things then. But I think this is very wise from West Ham. For the other right backs, I think he's slowly but surely making his way into the first team right back position after Vladimir Soufal's poor run of form lately. Ryan Fredericks, sorry, I mean, he hasn't helped himself when he's had a couple of games to try and impress. So I think he's well on the back burner, and could be gone in the summer. We've got Harrison Ashby there as well, which will be happy for Ben Johnson, I'm sure, because he was with the academy with Ben Johnson. But I'm sure he's thinking, Ben Johnson's a barrier for me to get into this first team squad as a right back and to start Premier League games in the future. But it is good news that we've got one of these players down for a couple more years. Let's hope West Ham can rectify this and get a few more players signed up for at least another couple of years. But other news I want to talk about: Benrahma versus Moyes continues indirectly. David Moyes has spoke out, and Tom Clark has from Football London has put some stuff on Twitter, and the main bit he took out of it was David Moyes spoke about Benrahma. He says, I want him to make and create goals, we get there, and score goals, and understand when to pass and dribble and keep it. Now, this is exactly what David Moyes would say. This is exactly what I envisioned him saying about Said Benrahma. He wants him to score and create goals, but David Moyes really doesn't like it when he dribbles and he loses it, and then we're back defending again. He likes a player that keeps the ball, passes it, who's not a flair player, which Benrahma is a flair and a confidence player. And yes, he's not a David Moyes player. We get that. He probably wasn't signed by David Moyes. It was probably a Sullivan signing, because he would be well more in favour than what he is now. If David Moyes signed him, you know what, I want that guy. He looks the business. Because we all know David Moyes doesn't like these flair players. If David Moyes had put on a table Fornals or Benrahma, he's going to take Fornals every day of the week, because Fornals is more of the workhorse. He's a fan's favourite. He's a David Moyes favourite. He loves Fornals because he doesn't lose the ball as much. His passing accuracy is a lot better. He's a more all-round player at the moment. And of course, Benrahma can bring that more magical side of it than what Fornals can't currently. But with Fornals, it's going to be consistent. With Said Benrahma at the moment, he's very inconsistent with his performances. He can go missing for big periods of the game. It's really splitting the fan base, because when he comes off the bench, 20 minutes ago, he looks really good. But when he starts games, and people say he had a decent game against Newcastle, I thought he went missing for large parts of the game. I was there, I saw it. I thought he was missing for large parts of the game. I forgot at times he was on the pitch. The game just flowed him by, and that's not what you want and that's not what David Moyes wants from a player, and especially not a player that is a flair player, which David Moyes just doesn't like. And I don't know where Said Benrahma goes from here. I don't know what happens, but we'll have to wait and see on that sense, because quite frankly, I don't know what the next turning is in terms of Said Benrahma's career for West Ham United. I clearly don't. And then he goes on to talk about Antonio, because obviously a lot of people have questioned, why is Benrahma being subbed when Antonio is playing worse? And David Moyes spoke about Antonio last week, and he said, I'm just beginning to see little bits which are giving us encouragement. He's getting back. I don't think it'll be too long before he's back on the score sheet. So we're putting full confidence in his one and only striker. That is our one and only striker, Mikel Antonio. So it's interesting, the contrast of what he's thinking about these two players. But honestly, I fear for Benrahma's West Ham career at the moment, because I just don't know what's going to happen next. But the last part of the show, Said Benrahma Sebastian Haller did an interview with The Guardian, and it's quite eye-opening what he mentions about West Ham, actually. Some people say, honestly, I don't care, but I'm going to read it out. Obviously, he's at Ajax, banging the goals in the Champions League and in the league that Ajax play in. And he spoke about West Ham, and it's quite interesting, actually. And he speaks, and he says, I was playing in a system that I didn't really enjoy. Moyes preferred someone like Antonio up front, and I'm super happy he's doing well. I am happy for all of the guys at West Ham. I don't want to blame David Moyes. Sometimes the style of play doesn't suit a player, and I wasn't the striker he needed. I also wasn't his signing. If you bring in the players that cost money for the club, you need to show that you didn't make a mistake. Fair play. You know what? Fair play, because he's come out and he said probably what we'd wanted. He hasn't come out with bad blood or anything, and he accepts it. He knew at his time was West Ham. You see when he scored that banger against Sheffield United, there wasn't any emotion there, because he's not a West Ham player. David Moyes did not want to change the system for one player, which is completely fair enough. Look where we finished last season. I can't slate David Moyes for that. But fair play to Sebastian Haller, and we might need him now because we've only got one striker. Would you have kept in? I don't know. We got about 13 million quid for him in the end, and you know what? We sent him to Ajax. He's banging the goals. Fair play to the lad. He's in a team with the system that how he likes to play. I think with two up front, with somebody close to him, and I hope his career excels. It's just a shame that it didn't work out at West Ham. But I just needed to mention that and just talk about that because that's cropping up in West Ham news today. So to conclude, Ben Johnson has signed a 2-year contract extension with West Ham, tying him down at the London Stadium until 2024. Moyes versus Benrahma continues. What happens there? I don't know. And Sebastian Haller has been speaking very highly of West Ham and about his time at the Hammer. So that's it from me. I will be back on Friday with a Europa League draw watch along, see who we get, see what sunny country we're going to. But if there's any more news, I will bring it to you here on West Ham Official. That's it from me. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, check out our channel sponsors SRM Carver and Sun by clicking the link in the description down below. That's it from me. Come on, you irons, and let's hope that we can get back on track on Sunday. Please, West Ham, get the result, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.